Hello again, everyone. It's This Week in Agribusiness. Meteorologist Greg Solier. We're back in for Max Armstrong. Welcome to Farm Progress Dateline Drought. Our continuing coverage of the drought of 2012 is brought to you by Genuity Drought Guard Hybrids. Pretty typical par for the course. Early November feel underway with regard to those barn thermometer readings across a wide area of the Corn Belt. Past a couple of days, a little spit and spot of moisture has been on the radar sweep over sections of the western and southernmost sections of the Corn Belt. The next in a string of these disturbances running the periphery from late season warmth near 70 degrees the past couple of days as far north as Big Sky Country. Two temperature readings more in line to maybe early December over the northern and eastern Great Lakes region. In any event, these disturbances moving on through are not real significant moisture makers. One heading through the course of the next 36 hours, exiting off east by Wednesday, expected to deliver a couple of rain showers and nothing more over a good part of the eastern Corn Belt for Election Day Tuesday. Nothing to hinder getting to and from the polls and or outdoor work. Excellent progress over western and southwestern areas. Some progress made the past few days eastern areas, but still behind the eight ball over sections of Michigan and especially through Ohio. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at how those maps and charts play out over the next 6 to 10 days. A significant pattern shift expected to get underway. Here it is. Look at the surge of cool to cold air laying out across areas of the northern plains, extending as far south as just about the Texas Panhandle to the east and northeast. Push of late season warmth into much of the far eastern Corn Belt, the northeastern states and mid-Atlantic region. Typically, when you have this wide configuration of temperature extremes, that's an indicator of moisture, and the precipitation outlook heading through the mid-stretch of November plays out like this. Unfortunately, more field work and late season field work delays for that matter, including harvest over the far eastern and southeastern Corn Belts. We'll try to get it done while you may, where you can, the best you can. Over the rest of the Corn Belt, at least from a drought easing standpoint, we'll continue in with fairly good news here. Wisconsin to Missouri and points onto the east, and yeah, there could be some additional delays with cleanup and recovery with another system into the mid-Atlantic region and the northeastern states. By the way, one through the second half of this week bears watching with rain and wind. Nice to see moisture out through the northern and central Rockies as well as parts of the northern plains. Sections of Nebraska and Kansas still left high and dry. Here's that 90-day outlook from a drought perspective. Continuing improvement from the northern plains to the Great Lakes, points on southward, including areas of California. Unfortunately, although this is the Fed's forecast, it's a bit pessimistic. We're a little more optimistic. Nonetheless, persistence continuing on across much of the nation's heartland. That's a check on weather. On to Bryce Knorr now and a look at markets.
The grain market posted another mixed close on Monday. In fact, as Yogi Berra used to say, it was deja vu all over again. Soybeans once again took a big hit, with follow-through selling seen after Friday's losses. More worries about the size of the crop were in play as traders anticipate an increase from Friday's USDA report. Weather conditions are also improving in South America. Southern Brazil and Argentina are drying out from recent heavy rains, while much-needed precipitation is falling in central and northern Brazil. Still, not all the news was bearish. Weekly export inspections were a strong 59.4 million bushels, with China taking 75% of the total. While the report was a little below trade guesses, it keeps sales 42% above last year's level. Nonetheless, January beans took out last week's lows, closing off 23.5 to 15.03 and a quarter. After the close, USDA reported 93% of the country's soybeans harvested, up 6% from last week. The selling in beans dragged corn lower for the second straight day. Corn tried to rally early in the pit session on strength in wheat, but another tepid report on export inspections, just 14.7 million bushels, made corn vulnerable to the downdraft in beans. Year-to-date inspections are down 37% from last year. USDA forecasts just a 23% decline for the marketing year, increasing potential for a cut in exports in Friday's report. December futures honed in on a test of October lows, finishing down 4 cents at 7.35 1/2. Wheat ended mixed but traded higher for much of the session before giving in to selling as the noon hour began. Concerns about the hard red winter wheat crop remain a concern, with conditions slipping again this week. This week declines were seen on the southern plains, which received little rain over the past week. That chopped another 4/10 of a bushel off yield potential, according to my model. Still, old crop wheat isn't exactly flying off the shelves. Export inspections in the latest week of 14 million bushels fell 10 million short of the rate forecast by USDA for the rest of the marketing year, increasing odds the government will cut its forecast on Friday. Chicago December closed up 1.5 pennies at 8.66. Kansas City lost 2 to 9.20 3/4, and Minneapolis ended off a quarter at 9.40. Keep up with the drought situation across the country by visiting www.datelinedrought.com.